Here is the statement on the school shooting. Obviously, there was a shooting, a tragic shooting. And by the way, I will say this once and once alone. Anything I talk about is not a celebration of violence or in any way meant to celebrate violence. It's meant to provide, commentary on the issue, whether it's legal, educational, or whatever else on this particular issue. So that being said, and now us moving on, this is a statement on this shooting. The shooter was trans, who killed these folks. I don't know if we want to read the whole thing. I can, if you want, Drex. This is a statement from the trans group. Actually, you know what? Fuck it. I'll just read it. The Trans Resistant Network has been notified that the shooter involved in today's church school shootings. This is a church school in Nashville, Tennessee, was a person identifying as transgender known from online profiles as Aiden or Aubrey Hale. They are claiming the pronouns, quote unquote, were he, him. While it is not our policy to engage publicly with news media, we believe this moment calls for a thoughtful response from our collective. We point out that in today's incident in Nashville is not one tragedy, but two. The first is the loss of life of 3 adults and child. We extend our deepest sympathies. We mourn you. The second is a more complex tragedy. It is Aiden or Aubrey Hale, who we feel had no other effective way to be seen than to lash out by taking the lives of others and by consequence himself. So saying that there was no other option but to kill people. We do not claim to know this individual. You're kind of claiming to know his inner thoughts and literally his motivations, but okay. And have access to the inner thoughts and feelings. Literally, you just did that. Literally, you just did that. But okay. We do not know. We do know that life for transgender people is very difficult and more difficult in the preceding months. Hold on. By the virtual avalanche of anti-trans legislation and public callouts by right-wing personalities and political figures for nothing less than the genocidal eradication of trans people from society. Many trans people, literally, they just blamed this shooting on the right wing. I'm not fucking kidding you right now. They just did that. We transgender people deal with anxiety, depression, thoughts of suicide, PTSD from near constant drum of anti-trans hate. If you were just nicer, this would never happen. Lack of acceptance from family members or certain religious institutions, details of our existence, and calls for detransition and forced conversion. Yes, because everybody is calling for forced conversion. That is literally insane. These factors contribute to a population that is medically underserved, who often face anti-trans bias while accessing care, leading to significant physical and mental disparities. Hate has consequences. Literally saying this is your fault. You caused this.
It's always about them.
It is a testament to the inner strength and beauty of transgender people that despite overwhelming odds of homelessness, job discrimination, anti-trans bigotry, so many of us continue to persevere, survive, and even thrive. We will not be eradicated or erased. Nobody is trying to erase you. We have reminded the news media to respect self-identified pronouns that transgender individuals who come across your desk. Aiden Hale self-identified with he, him. By the way, I know this is very intentional. They're going to try to paint any person as a he, not a she, but let's continue on that. We will also urge you to stop pandering to individuals on the right who will use this double tragedy to torment fear and terror of transgender in order to advance a political agenda of transgender elimination. Bias and sensationalized coverage of these viewpoints is both irresponsible and reprehensible. Requests for interviews will refer back to the statement. Yeah, see, here's the thing. You know, this just made it worse. And to start on the offense, to say, you know, we're blaming it on you, it's the right. And if you say it's us, then it's transgender hate, then they're hating on us. It is the most petty bullshit. And it shows they truly do not care about these people.
Petty. Most of these bitches is petty.
Look at how much they spent talking about the actual tragedy.
They spent one sentence on the victim.
One fucking sentence talking about the tragedy and the death. The rest was talking about it's the right's fault. This is all your fault. Pointing the finger. When the bodies aren't even cold. The bodies are not even cold and they're pointing the finger. It's fucking disgusting. These people are disgusting. It's fucking vile. Every single time they're going to point the finger, no matter what, to the right. You know, there's something actually about press, and this is the crazy thing, Drex, is that human beings, when you keep saying something, will believe it. So by constantly saying every single tragedy, the media, everybody else saying it's the right, people have begun to believe that this small fucking group, which by the way, the right is smaller than the left, to be very clear. Like people who are opposed to that are smaller than the normies and whatever else is on the left. It is smaller. But always blaming that group. It's always that group, right? And also acting like that group is a monolith who all agrees on this issue, right? People who are not on the left are made up of a lot of people. They're made up of conservatives who are very religious. That's true. There's evangelicals, religious people, but there's also people who are libertarians. There's people who don't give a shit. There's people who just are politically homeless and kind of don't agree with anybody. They pick and choose on issues, right? Oftentimes I find myself agreeing with that a little bit more because I agree on one issue, but may disagree on another issue. It's crazy to call everybody who doesn't agree with you a trans hater, a bigot who caused this, who literally caused death.
That's easy. And it's the way that they perceive the world. I will say this, though. This is for America, right? This is a quick little PSA for America. You know, in honor of Joaquin Phoenix's memeable line, right? You get what you fucking deserve. America's getting what it fucking deserves. Because do you know who wanted all this? Do you know who wanted these boys pumped up on all these medications, these high-powered meds? They did. Do you know who wanted the school system to be feminized, to not let boys be boys? They did. Do you know who didn't want any fighting? They wanted zero tolerance, right? Let me tell you guys something. You need bullying. You need these kids to get the living fuck beaten out of them. You need their noses get broken. You need them to understand that their words and actions have consequences. But since you want to take all that away and make boys turn into bitch-made eunuchs, you're getting what you fucking deserve, right? Because Andrew, when you and I grew up and we fought each other, right?
Right.
Don't you notice there was a lot of fights but no school shootings?
No, we would just fight. We would just punch each other, but there was no
boom, done.
We might be a little bloody. We might be a little bloody. Might be
Mama got a black eye or something.
Something kind of fucked up, but like we'll heal. Like we'll heal. You know,
those wounds heal. These kids in this faculty, they can't be revived. And the reason they can't be revived is because the society that you created. And let me go ahead and say this.
Sorry, I got a couple funny memes here real quick. You know, that one made me laugh.
Black Hitler.
And then trans people complaining about the right to use using a shooting for political gain. Gun owners. First time.
Yep. And it always devolves into something political. And the reason why all of this is so funny to me is that we look at this tragedy, right? And it is extremely tragic. And you see how they try to politicize it and all that. But there's a couple of things to note. Andrew, I'm going to say this yet again.
Do it.
Beware of the fucking psyop. If you think this isn't one of these goddamn MK Ultra fucking cracked out babies that they just planted in there to delete people to go ahead and take these guns out of your fucking hands, you're wrong. That's who this person is, okay? Andrew, I've seen how this works. For those of you who don't know about the Rampart division, back when they had listen, I didn't play the game, but I'm aware of it. In the game GTA San Andreas, they actually relived this, right? They went ahead and showed it. The cops were putting high-powered assault rifles in certain areas around the cities for the gang members to grab and delete each other. This, in turn, allowed the police union to gain more power and the local jurisdiction to create a situation where the people needed them. They created the problem out of thin air, and they wanted the desperate citizens to then say, please save us. And then they got more power. Beware the fucking psyop, okay? When you start looking at these cases, Andrew, have you started to notice it's too convenient? And I'll tell you what, and let's talk about the media infiltration. The media will not talk about this shit.
Oh, no, they won't.
Not only
that. No. It's worse than that. It's not they won't talk about it. The framing they're gonna, the fucking spin they're gonna put on this, they're gonna make it sound like those people in the church were not victims. These disgusting, I'm telling you right now, these disgusting, sick individuals are gonna make those dead parishioners in the church seem like they were the bullies and they were evil and they deserved it. Literally, by the way, that's what that letter did there. They said, oh yeah, you deserved it because those people in there, they were trying to forced convert this person. They are going to turn this around and make it because guess what? Those people in there were white, right? Those people in there were Christian, right? What's the one religion you're allowed to come at full speed? Christianity, right? The
Now, I
one
gotta say this
thing
though.
you're allowed to come at.
I want to say this.
By the way, no, but Drex, you don't check him come after Islam like that.
They
That's the one
don't.
thing.
They don't.
Right, that's why the quote "Islam is right about women" is the perfect one to break them down
Always.
because they don't know which way to go with that. They're like,
Yeah.